Hello. Hello. Good morning. I should probably announce this stream. I forgot to do that. Hello, everybody. Okay, so what's on this lab today? Actually, give me a second because I want to open the window. Ah. Hey, what are we doing? So I have a Redis client that I'm porting to latest Zigg. I'm updating. So we're here basically. And I did a good job. It all works. Like the main demo works, but tests don't pass yet because there's a ton of tests that need to be ported. Actually, they might fail also because we broke some of the logic. So we need to be on the lookout for that as well. But most importantly, we need to we just need to make them compile. We're not even there yet. So Zigg build test. Let's add watch. This is going to complain because we have a bunch of bad code. So let's go fix all this stuff. So Incor by float. It's going to be an adventure because there's a ton of these things that need to be ported. Like, look at this. Fix buffer stream. This stuff needs to be changed. IO reader fixed. IO reader fixed. Does it need to be var? Doesn't even it does because it remembers the seek position. Then we don't have reset. I think this is .60. Yeah, never mind. Then this is this. This is this. Oh, wait, this is not a reader. This is a writer. This is a fixed writer. So it's and. There we go. Okay. Next. Incor by. Well, fair. Guess what? We'll have the same problems. Right, they're fixed. Ampersand. Ampersand. Oops. Buffered. Then this file is okay. Next, Incor by. What? Incor by is fine. What's the problem? Oh, reset. Incor. Okay. Next, get range. This is gonna be so fun. Get bit. Let's go. Problem is that each one of these things has this, so get. Okay, honestly, I expected worse. So if this is just it's tedious, but we're good there. We got to fix this. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Bit pause. There you go. You just do it, and then you do this, and then you do this. Bit up. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. No writer. Hey there, I'm new on Zigg and I would like to ask, if I have a loop that calls a method, yes, is it better to make all initialized variables before the loop as global or make a struct to group them? So Mycon, here's what I suggest. Go to zigbin.io. It's like pastebin, but zigbin. And in here, you type your example. So you said something like, I have a loop that calls a method. So you have for, I don't know, 0, 100. And then maybe you don't care about the index. And then in here you do foo.bar. And then you say, is it better to make initialized variables before the loop? Okay, so my point is, I cannot derive exactly what you're trying to say from your example. So my suggestion is, do this, and then you press share, and it gives you a link, and you share that link in chat. The reason why I suggest to do this is so that I can then take a look at your example, and maybe you show me like the two variants. I don't know. Just give me something more so I can better help me help you. That's what I'm asking. It doesn't have to be Zigbin, by the way. If you have another favorite one, use whatever you prefer, but Zigbin is pretty cool. Bit count. Actually, I think I would do it like this. Or maybe like this. Definitely like this. Okay, append. I think I can make these changes more. You know what? I think I can make some of the changes more efficient. So I guess I can do this. In this way, I change both at once, and I think I should keep doing this. So I wish I had like search selection, and then somehow like make a multi-selection out of these matches. There should be a way of doing this. But you know what? Let's take a moment to do this because I think it would be cool. Like I made a match. So I have selected some text and I want to have a cursor on any match. There should be a way of doing this. Let's learn how you do this because I think this is a very useful primitive to have. So I hope this explained it, Andrew. So I basically have some selected text and I want to spawn a cursor on every match. Yeah, I can do that. So I can do select everything and then select and then do, you know, io.fixed buffer, blah, blah, blah. But I would like a more promiscuous way of doing this in a sense. Like I would like an easier access. So like I have a keybind to put what I have selected in the search buffer, and that's great. But then I would like the search to become a select, basically. Like but I don't know how. Like command, like basically like n becoming give me all next, not just the next. If that makes sense. Let me see for a second what the keybinds are. Oh, there's also repeat last motion. That's nice. Alt dot. So dot is repeat. Oh no, my camera is turning off. It is disappointing. I did not expect that to happen. Space H. No, I want this for arbitrary text, I think. That doesn't even do much with ZLS at the moment. Is Zigg easier than Rust? I use Rust. I'm interested in Zigg. No reply. No reply. Replace with a character. Replace with young text. Switch case on the selected text. No. Insert, append. Insert at the start of line. Insert at the end of the line. Open line below. Open line above. Repeat the last insert. So far, I think I have these keybinds like in my brain. Undo, redo, sure. Move backward in history, move forward in history. I'm not sure what this means. Like the difference between these two things. So I don't have this one. Yank, paste, sure. Paste before selection. Select, register to yank or paste from, okay. Indent, dedent, format selection LSP. Oh, that is nice. But obviously we need support for that. Delete selection. Delete selection without yanking. Nice. Alt. Change selection, but without yanking. Increment number under cursor. Star stop macro. Shell. Selection manipulation. Okay, let's see. Select all regex matches inside selection. Split selection into subselections on regex matches. I think this is what I want. No, I don't think this is. Split selection on new lines. Merge selections. Hello, Neurosite. By the way, I'm talking about editor primitives. Maybe this is something that might interest you. So I'm doing a bunch of repetitive edits, and I can select everything. I can do select, and then I can do fixed buffer, blah, 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 and that gives me a cursor on every one of these guys, and that's great. But what I would like is to be able to select this and basically get a, like, I have a keybind to put that in my search register and search multiple times. Great. But I would like to now to go from this to a cursor on every match. So I have S. Oh, I have select and split. Huh. Press V before pressing N. Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. What's V? What is V? Where's V? And select modifier. Is it? Oh no, I don't see it listed anywhere. V is select mode. Okay, you guys. Okay, I'll need a moment to understand this thing. I said no reply because you were not saying anything, but I want to know your opinion. Dude, it's a fucking stupid question. I don't know. Use whichever one you want. Also, if you can't wait like, I don't know, a minute before you get an answer, I don't know. Do whatever you want. Let's see. V is select. Let's see. So V. Oh no. It worked. But wait, now, and I have multiple cursors. You're right. That is amazing. So I can do. That's delightful. That is delightful. Okay, let me try this on another one. We'll not extend one at a time. Yeah, that's not perfect. But I'll take it. It's good enough for what I'm doing right now. It's the first of minor modes. Oh, so I should have gone all the way to the top. Or not. There's no... Where's the mode selection buttons? In any case, cool. Okay. So let's go process another file. Xstream. Okay, so here's what we have. We have this. So put in register, vnext, change, io.writer.fixed. Then I have, well, I also want the dot, so I need to do this. Put there. Whoops. Put there vnext, change, equals 0. And then I have this. Vnext, change, back, insert, 10%. This is so good. Thank you all for helping me out with this. Oh, if I do vnext, I don't even need to put it in the search register. That works. The multi-cursor is even easier in Flow. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you press start, it puts selection in search register, and it will be auto-completed when %s. So it's also pretty nice. Yeah, star is what I use. It will be auto-completed when in %s. Okay, I'm gonna try next. Let's see. Xread. So you're saying if I select this and I put it in the register, then I do %s. It is in there indeed. I did notice this. I mean, I saw it, but I didn't think about it. And now it's in there. And now I get all of them at the same time. Okay, so this is another path for achieving this. I pressed the wrong button. Well, but you know what? I like the... Oh no, the next. Oh, the dot wasn't even necessary. I like the... I like this approach. No more matches. Wait, V next. But there's a writer down there. We also need to wait. Oh, okay, so I do need to put it in my search register. Earlier when I didn't do it, I guess it was a coincidence that it happened. I happen to already have that in the search register, but I still need to do that. Oh, maybe not because I was using search, but because if you do search, then that also works out automatically. Okay, thank you. Learn a few things. Next, fixed. Let's see. Some people find React to be easy. Others think it's hard because it's all what you're familiar with and what you're using it for. I think in the case of systems programming languages, actually, you know what? Honestly, I think this should be the case with the majority of programming languages. Maybe not strictly all of them, but the majority of programming languages, in my opinion. But certainly, when it comes to systems level programming languages, I think that it is important that the language is as transparent as possible, or at least it's very transparent. Maybe not strictly as transparent as possible, but it is very transparent with the underlying system, meaning that it allows you to learn what the underlying system does easily. I'll give you a counter example, a quote unquote bad example, Python. But not to say that Python is bad. Python is just bad at this aspect because it was not designed to do that. So with Python, you don't have easy access to what the machine is able to do. You don't have easy access to what the operative system allows you to do. It makes sense. Python is targets a virtual machine. Sometimes people talk about like, oh, this language targets a virtual machine, and it's like a tiny bit of trivia that you don't even really care about much. But no. It is important. It's not just trivia. Yeah, so in the case of Python, you want to have access to threads. You can't really, because you have multi-threading available in Python, but then you have the global interpreter lock. So what you're getting is not really threads given to the OS, to you by the OS. But you have some abstraction on top that basically locks you out, quite literally. That's what the global interpreter lock does. It locks you out of what you would be able to do if you had unrestricted direct access to threads. Then let me think about another similar example. Interoperability, for example, with dynamic libraries. That's another one. Because that's a C thing, right? It's not really a C thing, strictly speaking, but it's not something that Python can do natively. And so it's like this foreign thing. It's literally you do that via the CFFI interface, the C foreign function interface. So Python locks you away from a lot of things that your system can do. And that is a problem. I mean, you obviously get some good things out of Python, but the fact that you're locked yourself out of these things, it's bad. Imagine that you're like, if you're like a kid playing with, you want to make constructions and you have Legos. Legos are great. Legos do not allow you to construct everything that can be constructed. Because your units are like bricks. There's different shaped bricks, so you can get clever and do a lot of weird things, and it's super cool. But you don't have the ability to construct everything, and in a sense, that's fine for kids. But if you're a professional building, like if you construct buildings professionally, if you're an architect, you don't want it to think about your constructions just in terms of Legos. You need to be able to reason. You need access to all the available materials and construction processes that are available, that people know about, that you can get your hands on, in a sense. So you need concrete. You need reinforced concrete. You can't just be somebody who designs buildings out of Legos. And I think in software engineering, we have this problem where Python is great, but also the fact that it locks you out of certain things is a problem if you're a professional software engineer. you lock yourself into this Lego world, and then the outside is seen as scary and impossible to tame, etc. But that's not the reality. No, not at all. Not at all. But the problem is that, you know, if you spend, I don't know, 25 years of your professional career just playing with Legos, then see what I mean? It's a problem. You should try to avoid this. It is a problem, and we don't understand as an industry what it is that we're giving up when we use a programming language that does not allow you to access or see what your actual platform is capable of doing. And that leads to all kinds of weird ways of thinking about things. For example, people think that doing, by the way, going back to React, for example, in React and similar frameworks, it's important to do updates to the DOM in a diffed manner. Like, you only want to modify the DOM when it comes to the things that were modified. And so, like, diffed updates, they're not a bad idea, but people think that you need diffing for everything. I myself made the same mistake. When I was designing Bork here, I thought that being able to diff what's on screen and only update what changed would be important. But the reality is that computing the diff has some cost in on itself, and updating a grid of, I don't know what this is, like, what is this right now? Will Ghosty tell me? Yeah, this is a grid of 49 by 17 cells. So 49 by 17 cells, it's like what? 400, 800. Let's use let's go over the I'm gonna say, just as an estimate, 800 cells. Updating 800 fucking cells, a modern computer can do in an instant, in less than milliseconds. So diff updates for Bark are stupid. You don't want to do that. But if your brain is used to thinking about in React terms, or, you know, higher level stuff terms, you completely lose connection with reality, and that makes you, you know, not a good engineer. Long story short. So to me, it's important that you eventually get exposed to everything that platform can do. Because if you don't, then it's bad for your health. In a sense. Xadd. Oh, this one has more than one test. This is gonna be interesting. So we can do this. That's fine. We can do the same with reset. Oh, no, we can't. Or rather, we can, but... Okay. And then we do change and equals 0. I guess that works. We can do this, percentage s at delete, back, insert, ampersand. That works. We got a comma. Maybe there's an easy way to do all the commas at once, but I don't know, it's fine. I'm happy to be able to look at it. And then we do this. Let's see, I work with many C# developers at work. 99% of the time, they have no idea how their code actually gets executed at runtime, and most are not even interested. Yeah, I personally feel like that C# and in general, the Microsoft attitude to this stuff is particularly bad. They, my impression, I've used C# in the past, and I don't think that C# is a bad language per se, but it's certainly not a language / ecosystem that cares at all about giving you access to what's going on behind the scenes. There's There's way too much stupid magic going on everywhere at the same time, all the time. Like LinkQ, like for example, LinkQ is looking at your function definitions, at your lambda definitions. Sorry, I should say your delegate definitions. And then if the function is a unary or binary function, then there's special code paths for that. And so like it analyzes the language. It's like, well, what the fuck is going on, man? So yeah, C#, man, bad memories on my part, honestly. Let's see. I asked this in the stream yesterday, but you turned off the stream before reading my question. Sorry. Let's see. I recently watched Casey Muratori's talk where he talked about a data structure called a plex that sounded extremely similar to the structure of a race pattern that is often discussed in Zigg circles. I did watch that talk. I don't remember all the details, but I think that what was presented as a plex in that context was like a struct back when structs did not exist. So yes, some of the things that were shown in that talk were basically DoD styled, I think. But I'm not sure if the plex was that. I might be wrong though. You might be right that the plex was basically a struct, but with that memory layout. In any case, can these two be used synonymously, or am I missing something? Well, I guess it depends on whether the plex was really that or if it was just a proto struct, like the idea of a struct before anybody said struct. I would have to rewatch the talk to make sure. I would say though that in any case, plex is kind of outdated. So if you want to feel cool, you can use plex. But nowadays people understand, I think, more. It's more likely that people understand when you say SOA, like struct over arrays, more than anything else, I think. Yeah, that was also my understanding. Guys like Nick Chop says do a good job helping understand and improve performance of C# programs. You know, but that's good, I guess. But that's, I think, part of the point. I don't remember when I wrote this or when I said this last, because I remember saying it in the past, but it's been a while. And I think that what would be nice is for Zigg to be a language without gurus. What I would love is that this person would not be able to exist in the Zigg ecosystem. Sorry, well, I mean, you know, not with that role, not as a guru, because I think that is strictly preferable. Now, that doesn't mean that Zigg is trivial and that you cannot be a better or a worse Zigg programmer. You can 100%. There's obviously like skill that can be gained becoming a Zigg programmer, but I would say that this is very different than the C# ecosystem, as I understand it, and I would love for that to always be true. Personally, I don't know if this is going to be really possible. As the language becomes more complicated, for, you know, maybe not strictly the language, but as the ecosystem becomes more complicated, then maybe it won't be exactly true. I mean, async is something that people seems to have a extremely hard time grappling with. So I don't know. In the meantime, you know what? Let me try to fix my camera. I'm going to take a moment. Sorry, I'm going to flicker out of existence. Worst case, we're going to crash and burn. So brace for that. But I'm going to try to fix my camera situation here. So I'm going to still be around, but see you in a moment. This is actually me turning off the camera on purpose, or rather disconnecting it. Let's see what we can do about this. Maybe not much. Maybe not much. Really, this doesn't even turn on? Oh, now it does. It does not seem to be doing too good. I think I'm gonna need to also detach the audio interface. Okay, wish me luck. I'm not gonna undo the stream. I'll be right back in a moment. I'm gonna also unplug the audio interface. Test, test, test. Okay, so I'm back in audio. You should be able to hear me. Video, maybe not yet. That's not it. This is it. Okay. Now, audio is speaking. Sorry. Mic bad. Audio is normal again. Okay, so maybe this was something, weird stuff as I was plugging and unplugging devices. But it seems that we have survived the transition. I have one extra capture card now on my desk than I would like to have. But we might have solved our annoying issues. Unless I start flickering again. Okay, let's continue with the development. Let's see, what were we saying? Async conceptually is hard for newer programmers. Sure, that's absolutely true. But man, async is hard for people that have been doing async for years. I blame our industry again because we I blame ourselves, which technically is an easy thing to say, because obviously if you believe that you should be the master of your own destiny, then basically everything bad in the tech industry is our fault in one way or another. Although, there's other outside forces as well. But oh, sorry, let me finish reading the comments. So kind of like recursion, but once you get it, you'll get it, and it's not some things that where the concept gets harder and harder, though sometimes the code do. Dude, I disagree, just because I think that right now, like, okay, question for you, chat. In your opinion, how many awaits per second are being written right now as we speak? Well, as I speak. How many? How many awaits? Like, how many times in a second somebody somewhere on the planet is typing await? 69. I think that's you're underestimating it. I think the actual estimate should be higher. I don't have any hard data point on hand, so it's just a guess, but thousands just in my company alone. Yeah, I would say we are certainly in the hundreds. We're certainly in the hundreds per second, guaranteed. And I promise you, all these people that are doing this, they do not understand what async await exactly is. They know how to operate a given implementation in their language, mostly, sure, but they don't really know what it is. We actually had like quite a few mind-blowing moments when we were developing this new async version of Zigg. Like at some point, when I told Andrew and Amlag about introducing async concurrent, we all had like, when I realized that, I had like a mind-blown moment, and when they saw that, they also had a mind-blown moment, because. But by the way, we went to university, but university doesn't teaches you that shit because they have shitty definitions. And then when I made the blog post, everybody kept repeating to me the fucking talk from Rob Pike, which is fine. It's not a bad talk whatsoever, but it's not an enlightening talk that he's giving. Not at all. He's giving a fine talk that explains to you how to think about Go routines if it's your first time approaching the problem. And the main point, which I think is also what the title promises, concurrency is not parallelism. What Rob Pike is saying is that, just because you do Go, it doesn't mean that things will progress in parallel. It means that you're I'm quoting his words, you're dealing with multiple things at a time, but you're not necessarily doing multiple things at a time. But if you design your single coroutines in a way that makes sense, then there will be an opportunity for parallelism. And as a high-level talk to introduce people to Go, it's an absolutely fine talk. But people keep repeating it as like these, like he gave. I don't know. I'm exaggerating. Like it's not like he invented concurrency or in that talk or anything. So I don't know. It's a nice talk, but boy, that should not be the first thing you think about when you're thinking about async. God damn it. And yeah, and here's the thing: the operator. So to me, for us, I guess. The core point is this. I'm going to start typing it in here. The core point is this, which is something that apparently nobody attempted before, which I find mind-blowing. The point is this. If you do async foo, and then you do IO async bar, it's obvious that there are situations where foo and bar, so I'm gonna change this to like save file, and I don't know, save to database. It's obvious that these two things could be done in any order. You could do them all at once, which would be more efficient, because parallelism is a measure of efficiency. Like what parallelism is what gives you more efficiency when you have a concurrent system. Because without that, you don't really, without any form of parallelism, you do not get any benefit from concurrency. But here you can see that in this example, the assumption is that there is no relationship between save file and save to database. There is, maybe there could be situations, realistic situations, where this is not true, where you say, well, I write to the database first and then to the file second, and that's part of my recovery strategy in case something goes wrong, because when I read, that's totally fair. But in a slightly simplified situation, you can do them in any order. But obviously, this is not true for every async thing, because you could async two things that need to, they have a lock, for example, so they actually do need to synchronize at some point internally. And so, sorry, I guess the point why nobody cared about this stuff is because in our case, what we want to be able to do is say, you know what, if you use async, we want to be able to run this stuff sequentially, if necessary. And that is what allows us to allow you to use async libraries in blocking mode. There's also other benefits. They're actually even bigger than this one, but it's slightly more hard to get into what those are. But the easy to explain one is, look, if these two things, the order doesn't matter, then let's do them sequentially when we are in a ecosystem where the sequential stuff is the only thing we can do. And then if you're instead trying to do things that do require, like this guy, for example, this guy keeps looking at a Boolean, and then this guy is the one that's supposed to update that Boolean, like flip the Boolean using atomics or using, you know, whatever synchronization mechanism, mutexes maybe. And this guy is never going to end until somebody flips that freaking Boolean. Then at this point, you can't run these things sequentially anymore, because this one needs to make some progress, and then this one needs to make some progress up until to the point where it flips the Boolean, and then we need to complete this one. And by the way, this is like one example where there's only one synchronization point. Obviously, these things could have arbitrarily many synchronization points. Like the Boolean might need to be flipped multiple times. So that's why we created io.async concurrent, which I think might even need to be renamed concurrent, but that's a different story. So like that would be like needs Boolean flipping and then flips Booleans. So so this is the idea. This is exactly the idea. By the way, would it be possible to make yielding generators using Zigg's async? Would it be possible to do that? You know what? I'm not sure the answer is. Maybe like I understand the problem generally speaking, but I've never done this myself. I know that with the previous implementation of async, you couldn't really make generators out of them. I'm not sure if the new system will allow you to do that, but I might be wrong. Or rather, let me put it this way. These interface and futures have a weight, and that's pretty much all they have. There is no thing that you can quote unquote await multiple times to, you know, to get stuff from. So with this, what we have discovered is this, that asynchrony is not concurrency. That some things require concurrency. Concurrency defined as, and the definitions matter because people conflated these two things. Like people usually put these two concepts into concurrency. They say, well, wait, but this is concurrency. And what I'm saying is, no, because your definition of concurrency, even the one from Rob Pike, that one also conflates these two concepts, which makes sense, because it makes sense for him not to give a fuck about this distinction, because Go has task switching embedded in the ecosystem. Like everything is concurrent in Go. So all the time. So for him, this distinction is meaningless. And so it's fine for him not to do it. But for us, and in general for languages, this is key. Because this is what prevents you from creating a shitty ecosystem that splits in two. So, here the definition is that async means asynchrony. Where's H? Synchrony is a relationship between two. I call them tasks in the blog post. So let's call them coroutines. It's a relationship between two coroutines. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say coroutines. Let's say tasks. Between two tasks where each can be executed in any order. With relationship to, well, WRT is with regards to, with, well, I guess that works also. WRT the other. So you can do it in any way. So you can do this, and then you can do, and so let's imagine it like this. So you can do this. Or you can do, you know, all the other options, including this. But you know what? If I'm gonna put them in the same line, if they're being run. And I think there's also, maybe we should do this. Also the case where like save file takes this long. I'm not going to do all the examples, but you could even do this. And then save database ends in the middle. Yeah, like one completely covers the other. Yeah, so this is asynchrony, and then concurrency is something different. I don't know. Sorry, I lost steam halfway writing this stuff down. By the way, tonight's Zigg Showtime episode will go over this stuff, so I should save myself for later. Sometimes iterators are made using an async yield function, which awaits for somebody to poll the iterator until complete the next element. Yeah, the problem is that in our case, yield. Let me think about it for a moment. The problem is that the await primitive is not meant to work that way in this design, so it's just not meant to support a use case. That said, I might be wrong. You can do this, but the problem is that well, it's not really. Let me think about it for a moment. Next. Like you call next multiple times. Yeah, you can do this, but this is kind of defeating the purpose, because your purpose is not to have a next function that computes one item, saves the progress information explicitly in some state in a struct, and then you can call it again by, and you know, let's say that it has like an index, even just a simple index. But I think that what you want from a generator is that you literally leave that unspecified, like saving the state. You leave that completely unspecified because you have like a, I'm going to use Python. I'm not going to use correct Python syntax, but just to give you an idea, you have this, and in here you do something like fuck, I can think of a good example. Let's see, you have I equals is 0, and then while true, then you have actually no, yeah, let's do accumulator equals 0, and then while was it do you have while in Python? I don't even remember. I think you have for range 100, and then you do no, wait, for x in range 100, you have accumulator plus equals x, and then you do yield accumulator without the semicolon. So the idea is you have this function that yields the accumulator value. So you see that what's happening here is that we're basically taking the accumulator, we're adding it some value, and then we're returning it. And then the next loop, we want to continue from when we left off. We want to save, basically for us, what we want to save is two things: the state of the accumulator and the index in this range that we got to. But we don't save this stuff explicitly. Like if you had like a next function that you would call explicitly, that next function, like if you look at like Zigg iterators, they always explicitly save what's necessary to resume. While here you don't. Here you leave it implicit in the function because the idea is that the function yields a value and then can be executed again. It can be resumed after it yields. And so the save state mechanism is left implicitly in the function. And this is nice. This is not a bad thing to have, I think. Occasionally, I've been, when I was programming in the past, I've flip-flopped, sometimes thinking, man, it would be nice to have a generator so that I wouldn't have to think explicitly exactly at what it is that we need to save to be able to continue, like to resume once we get paused. Because it was this was when I was writing Autodoc, by the way. In Autodoc, you had this problem where you wanted to compute something, but then sometimes that thing would depend on another definition that wasn't analyzed yet. So you needed to pause that function and run the other function. So like analyze some other decal, and only once that was done, you would be able to return here and continue the analysis. And so since we didn't have generators, I had to explicitly say, okay, we got to this point in the analysis. Let's write down all the indices, when you're scanning things, like this is up to where I got to. This is the partial result that I computed and that I need to, continue defining afterwards. So I'm going to save this in the struct, and then you're going to be able to call this function again, because it loads explicitly this data from the struct. With a generator, you wouldn't have to do this. As I was saying, sometimes it seems easier, but then there's also the problem that knowing exactly what it is, the data that you need to be able to continue your computation, seems a nice thing to know. I think it is good to not leave unsaid what exactly is that you need to be able to continue the computation afterwards. So I don't know. Generators are they're a cool idea. I'm not sure how much they belong to Zigg. That's it. Sometimes I yearn for them. Sometimes I didn't. That has been my experience, for what it's worth. It's a great its own implementation of the async runtime specifically for generators, which does not support I/O, and it is embedded into a generator. S Union Store. So let's go do our magic. There's only one test, which is good. By the way, Neurosite, I generally do want to try out Flow, but I'm sorry, I need Helix keybinds. I know that this is annoying to say, but I kind of need them because I'm really not at a point in time where I can afford to completely nuke my productivity. I just can't. So if I do the jump, I need to, hit the ground running, basically. That's the problem. That is the problem. Okay, so we fix this. Next, Union. We need to go through every freaking file because every file has its own tests for this stuff. To be honest, I can still do this. It's not that bad. Has scan. I don't see you using much of Helix's keybind. What do you mean? I don't like the basic stuff. Oh, you mean like the fancy stuff? You're saying that the basic stuff is okay, and then it's the fancy stuff that I'm not using, and that then would be fine. Maybe. To be honest, I haven't tried recently, so I should try to be able to confirm of the 90s. Oh, so I'm moving one cursor, but then there's that cursor there that doesn't move. What do I do with that? Oh, fuck. We had more here. I should have been more attentive. Expected expression found semicolon. Here? Excuse me? That was a sus error. Stram. How many tests? Only one. Okay. Do-do-do. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Oh, shit. Do-do-do. Hmm. Also, you know what I'm thinking? Here's another problem. Right now, IO does not give you yield. We don't have yield. That's another. Oh, rather, like, you know, yielding exists obviously as a concept, and coroutines do yield, but yielding is done by the IO interface. It's not done by you, the user of the IO interface, and And there is a reason for that. There's a big reason for that. I think that I don't think we should give people yield. You know what? I don't know for sure, but so far, for now, I suspect that we should not give you yield. Or maybe we could, but here's the problem. Yielding is not available in single-threaded blocking mode. In single-threaded blocking IO mode, you cannot yield because there is no task switching. And the expectation is that sequential code should work. Or rather, let me put it this way. The expectation is that the code shouldn't try to yield, like you shouldn't be needing yielding for correctness or like a piece of functionality in your code, I guess. So I get it that there are reasons to want yield, even setting generators aside, but for now it's not clear. Also, right now we have, for example, a duration sleep, but I was lobbying to take that out and to only have sleep based on deadlines and no duration. But here's a question, Danik. Why do you want generators? Well, the reason why I'm asking this is because I understand, the general appeal for generators. But do you have any extra motivation past that? Do you have like a specific use case in mind, for example? Hello, X2. I don't have one right now, but they're very flexible. Okay. Understood. Oh, these guys. sys member. Da-da-dum. We still have writer calls. We should not. Also, this should be like this. I should have tried. I should have fixed also the other ones here in regards to this. I forgot. Oh well. Error in serializer.zig. Expected type IO reader found IO writer. Am I dumb? I'm dumb. This is not a parser. This is a. Everything is a writer in here. Yeah. Okay. As his member. Oh, wait, what's still wrong in here? Line 48? No, this is not it. It's a different. That's SM is member. Oh. Right. Oh, so I guess I can change this into this. Okay, we should be happy. Here we can put a comma. Here we can put a comma. There you go. Well, much better now. Much, much better. It's much easier than trying to make your own complicated state machine-based one. Yes, it is. But and you're right. But on the other hand, having explicit knowledge of what is the data dependency is not bad, I think. And I guess the question is the compiler guaranteed to do a good job as you are? And actually, the answer might be yes. And actually, the answer might be that it's not just as good as you, it's significantly better. In which case, that could be a good argument in favor of generators. But I don't have a definitive answer. Okay, so what's the problem now? Better define here, correct message to reset. Oh, we have calls to reset. Yeah. Members. Let's fix members. Wait a second. This can become column writer equals dot fixed. Oh, that is so much nicer. This is so much nicer, except it requires more hard work on my part. uh, hard life. TCP wizard. Hi, I'm pretty experienced with C++ and Rust, but I've never used Zigg. I like to use it. I'd like to use it to get into Vulkan and do some game programming. How do you architect software in Zigg? Also, are there Zigg features that I should definitely use when using Zigg to architect my engine? How do you architect software in Zigg? That is a question that okay, that is a slightly weird question in Ziggland. I mean, it makes sense, but and especially when you say C++ and Rust, I think I get it. I think I get what you're getting at. But in Zigg, usually there's no big architecture that you have to keep in mind because of how, I don't know, these 10,000 abstractions that everybody does, and you also want to do the same, or something like that. So here's what I can provide you to an answer to that question, which is not a full answer. It's just a partial answer. But Ziggland.org source code. So we go to the repository. There's a wiki section, and in here we have how to read the standard library. So this is a wiki page that tells you how to read the Zigg standard library source code. And so that means two things. One, this is one way of organizing things in your project structure that makes sense. And then I would suggest it should be your default choice. This does not answer the full architecting software question, but it does answer like code organization. So for example, the idea is every time you have something that you would call like a name, we call them namespaces. It's not like a submodule. There's no distinction that like we have the module, like a Zigg module. Your program will be a Zigg module, most probably, but inside of it there's no other separation than just like different namespaces. So normally, if something is simple, for example, in the standard library, the ASCII stuff is not too complicated, so it lives in one file and you're good. But then if it's something more complicated, like math has a bunch of stuff in it. So the math namespace has a directory in which you put all the individual files for about math. For example, seal is implemented in its own file. And then there's a math.zig file that re-exports everything from its subdirectory. So when you want to use math, you don't import math/seal.zig, but you import math.zig. And then from there, you access all the public definitions of math. That's the expectation. You don't have to do it. You can, if you like to, import stuff directly and organize your code that way, it's gonna work. But usually this is the preferred style. So I'm gonna share this link. Can I share this link? Yes. So this is one question, one answer. Features that you definitely want to use when architecting your engine is probably multi-array list. The Zigg in depth, there's this one. This one is the one that I've written. So this is the one that I've written. but you can find also other explanations. So find the one that you want. But basically, this is struct of array in userland using comp time metaprogramming. So basically, multi-array list. What in Zigg we call an array list, you call a vector in C++. In I think also in Rust. And so this is a vector, but when you append stuff to it, like if you put structs in it, the structs are not laid out in memory, row wise, but they're by column. So it does the struct of array transformation mostly transparently for you. That's it, yeah. Probably you want to look into that. I would say these are the two main answers. There's probably more, but as a starting point. Also think that we should rename array lists on something else. In my opinion, array lists should be called dynamic array. Now let's see what chat thinks about this. The information can be interesting. Sure, but it's not Zigg specific at all, is it? Feel free to link it if you want, but I don't think it's very specific to the question. But I do agree that in general, it's a cool talk, worth knowing about. Yeah, and like it's not like something that you can do fully transparently. So like if you're used to C++ and Rust, by the way, chances are that you're used to like these big abstractions that give you syntax sugar for everything, and you kinda you're expected to like you demand from your abstractions to be easy to use. Zigg is not exactly the same. In Zigg, if there's legwork required to do stuff, you're expected to do it. Like Zigg is a language where you should not. It's for people that are not afraid of typing. If you're afraid of typing, and the chances are that if you are, you're not thinking about it that way. But setting that aside, yeah, if you're afraid of typing, Zigg is not a language for you. Here we type a lot, and it's actually good. I have this theory where I believe that people reach for abstraction more often than not because they're like they have found a good abstraction, or at least they think they really have found a good abstraction. I think that most of the time people reach for abstractions because it saves them key presses, and that is part of what leads to bad abstraction being designed. And then people build abstractions on top of other bad abstractions, and and then you get what you get. We forgot to do something. Oh, this maybe. As leaf Thor. Okay. Oh, right. There's also this part maybe that we should look into, huh? Yeah. Okay. So many Redis commands. I don't think I even implemented all of them. Jesus Christ. Okay. H set. Yeah, this works out really nice. Right, this stuff. HM get. Oh, All right, msg.reset. Where do you see that? Oh, I still have it. Yeah. Incor by. Oh, I think I forgot to fix this thing here. Oh, I also have like basic usage. I think I need to update these tests. Oh man, so much work to do in this library. I I made this library years ago, and there has been so many improvements to Zigg that need to be ported. It's so much work. I was talking about not being afraid of typing, huh? I don't know. But, you know, it will happen over time. Bit by bit, we're going to do it. Bit by bit, we are going to do it. Holy shit, the tests are running and one failed. We did it Reddit. Actually, no, fuck Reddit. We did it Twitch, YouTube. We did it. Tests are running and one is failing. That is mind blowing. That's sad that not all 126 are passing. Fine, but at least you know, only one test seems to have regressed, so that's good. Let's see what happens. Parse simple errors failed because stream delimiter. We returned end of stream. Huh. Let's go figure this one out. So there's a test here that failed. So the test is parse simple errors. Right, that has a ton of stuff in it. God damn it. 118. Well, no, that's I want to see the task code. God damn it, show me the task code. Oh, wait a second. One error here and then one error here. While executing task commands, the following task command failed. I'm guessing this test is what is calling this test or something. I don't know. In any case, error 1, error 54, error 251. That's probably the task code. There we go. Short error. So we make a short error, and then we want to parse this into a or error that has as error ABC. Okay, show me short error. Dash ABC. Oh shit! I know what's going on. Wait, but is this realistic? I'm not sure if this test is realistic. Okay, I get it. So this is an error where there's no message. No, there should be a message. There should be a message. I'm assuming that the message is always there now. Excited error code buff too small. Found error right failed. That is fine. That we did change that error stuff. So it's on me. Let's see, where are we expecting an error? Expect equals slices. Expect equals slices. Where's the expectation of an error? Error 54. Error 118. Error 257. Yeah, that's. There we go. That is fine. All tests passing. Woo! We did it. This works. This is okay. Redis for new Zigg. What can I say? So we are done with this. Now we need to check if we really need to authenticate before hello or if authentication can happen afterwards. I guess what we should do is set up a Redis server that requires authentication, and then we try to do hello without authentication and see what happens. I don't think we have to do hello before. Sorry, I don't think we have to authenticate before doing hello. So I will most probably like revert that patch, or rather, I will undo the changes. Manually. There's no point for it to be there. We have like a auth command, by the way. Maybe what I can do is add a auth command. No, we don't. We have geo, keys, sets, hashes, streams, strings. We don't have the special ones, so we could make a auth command, but okay. So to do this, Redis config example, and Redis Labs has fucked up this goddamn website in an insane way. There's no auth mention. Wait, there's no auth mention? So they show you all the fucking options of their goddamn modules, and they don't show you how to do auth. Okay, man. This thing doesn't even have. So by the way, I also wanted to have support for sockets while I was testing, and this config file doesn't even tell you how to do sockets. This fucking company, man. Redis auth config. I don't know. Somebody please auth docs. Let's see if the Redis server is password protected via the require pass option. Okay. A Redis 6.0 instance of Greater is using the Redis ACL system. Okay, Redis versions prior to 6 were only able to understand one argument version of this command. So the new version is user password. See the official ACL guide. And then there's required pass. So was it here? Of course it wasn't commented. Okay, how do you do ACL? ACL set user. These docs are ass. This is insane. How do you require pass? Did it work? Configuration loaded. It doesn't say that it requires a password. What if I forget the P and I require S instead? Can I require S? It just says configuration loaded and it ignores. Oh, there we go. Unresolved configurations detected. Okay. Oh, and it fails to load. Okay, so that's perfect. So required pass was correct. Hello, Solalicious. Solalicious. Hello. So I have a question for you. Are you still maintaining your branch? Can I get latest Helix from it? Or did you, I don't know, get tired or something? And what should I do? Okay. Are you suggesting I switch back to mainstream Helix then? Did they ever like achieve any kind of consensus about that feature? Sticky contacts will need a full rewrite. God damn it. Okay, if I do get foo, no auth authentication required. Okay. If I do hello 3, no auth. The hello must be called with a client already authenticated. Otherwise, hello auth pass option can be used to authenticate the client and select the rest version at the same time. Otherwise, hello proto auth user pass option can be used to authenticate the user and select the REST protocol version at the same time. Jesus. 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 Huh. I wonder who had this. This seems silly. There is no reason for this to be a thing. I bet you that it was, I don't know for sure, but I have a strong suspicion that it wasn't Salvatore who added this. I suspect that this was added by Redis Labs. This is useless. And if people are curious why, the answer is it's useless because you can do hello proto and then you do auth user pass in a pipeline and you get pretty much the same end result. So like, I don't know. I feel like that there's no any real performance gain, any real gains to be made from this. But who am I to say? Who am I to say? Okay, client. It means that we do indeed want to have auth stuff in here. So, yeah. Let's see. We send auth. I guess we can do it. So authentication could be missing, and authentication itself can be user and pass. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we have restored this functionality. Let's see now in OK Redis. If I try to run the example, it will fail because we are giving server to old, but that's not true. We should look at this shouldn't be void. I think this should be or error void. And then we get the result. So I think we try this. Actually, we can't because we need to catch the error and set broken. But then we return the error. And then we do this. On OK, we return client. On error, I don't I use it. Oh right, there's OK, Neil. Neil is unreachable, I think. And then error should be and then error should be um I think that's how it should be. Return client in this case, while if there's an error, we look at the error code, and if it's no out, I think it did say no out, right? Yeah, it's no out. If it's no out, we say error.unauthenticated. Otherwise, server to old. Let's see what happens now. Error unauthenticated. Precisely. That works. Oh, this is so much better. Okay, that seems actually great. That seems actually great. The locking stuff is still not figured out yet, but we can do that in the future, I guess. We don't need to do it now. Okay, so we answered this question as well. So let's push this. Oh no. Okay, you know what? Maybe I can do this. Let's take a look at commands while we're there. And let's do this cleanup when I didn't do it. Shouldn't take too long. Actually, what this guy looked like? Okay, so this one was made really well. Did I do W? Oh no. Okay. Actually, what if we did this? How would this work? Yeah, this seems fine. Um, there you go. Let's see. I haven't heard from them. I guess I will just write a scheme plugin in the future, but I also kind of started to move to Emacs. Really? Okay. Compile mode having not those stupid pop-ups for docs. Hmm. I see. I'm gonna tempted to just call this root. It's so much better, honestly. Hmm. Maybe it really should be called root. Yeah. Actually, does it stay on a single line in this case? How? It actually fits on a single line like this. Huh, what do you know, huh? Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, this one is complicated. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna take a quick break to have lunch, maybe, or in any case, to see what I do for lunch, and then maybe I'm gonna continue. Although I think we're really close. Should I end the stream at that point? No, you know what? I'm gonna get to the end the stream, and then use the afternoon to get ready for the show. So yeah, let's just push just a little bit more. Come on, we're there. We're almost there. Yeah, I did a poor job at announcing it. I'm gonna send out a reminder. But yeah, there's a Zigg Showtime episode. Also, I noticed that the email newsletter is being sent out late. It's another thing that I need to fix here. It's on me. It's entirely on me. But in any case, we're gonna do this. Yeah, we're gonna do this later today. What is it? 5 hours 40 minutes from now. So we're gonna do. It's gonna be a stream basically with Andrew. But I feel like this is important to show this stuff. And so we're gonna basically kind of make it a Showtime episode. It's gonna be a weird Showtime episode because it's not gonna have the show format precisely like it usually does. But yeah. So we're gonna do it. Oops. By the way, in your side, what do you think of the new async stuff? Do you think you're gonna switch from your own stack to a standardized thing for your projects? You know what? I keep doing this, but I should start by doing this to see if it fits. And in this case, it doesn't fit, so that's fair. Okay. Hey, Rock Ranger, hello. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate because this, even like this, is not great. I think 2 per line is what we want. I don't know if I will switch or likely integrate async into my actual library, though. Also start a Zigg implementation of the backend using async. I see. Okay, so this should be good. Next, strings. Okay, how many files do we have? Oh no, is it really more like 40 files? Oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus. Do we still build? Oh well, yeah, unauthenticated, sure. Do we still run the example? We do. Do we test? We test. Three steps succeeded, 126 tests passed. Okay. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe we can stop here, man. It's so much stuff, like Decker integer by, oh god. Oh, this one we didn't even touch because it doesn't have tests. So, yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel like not doing all the work, really. But he's just curious, will the donate to charity button work exactly the same way as the subscribe button on the other Twitch channels? No. The donate to charity is an actual donation to the Zigg Software Foundation. It's not subscribing to my YouTube, sorry, to my Twitch channel. So I think you should be able to subscribe to my Twitch channel also if you want to. But yeah, these are two different things. Like if you subscribe to my channel, you're basically giving money to Jeff and me. If you're giving money to the Zigg Software Foundation, you're giving money to the Zigg Software Foundation. You're not giving money to Jeff or me. Although my salary is paid by the Zigg Software Foundation, so in a sense, I also benefit from that, but not directly. I don't see a channel subscription button. I think probably it might be that the charity UI kind of hides it from you, but it should still be there. Let me see if I can open it on my own computer and what I see there. Well, I'm logged as myself, so it doesn't allow me to, I guess, subscribe to myself. But oh yeah, you see up top where it says donate to charity. There's also support Christoph IT. Yeah, exactly. You can switch tab at the top once you press donate to charity, and that gives you access to the subscribe menu. Who knew that keeping the charity stuff enabled hurts my subscriber count? Oh no, how will I ever become a huge full-time Twitch streamer? Oh well, such is life. Can't have it all. Okay. So we have this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to inquire about lunch briefly, and then I'm going to be right back and decide what to do. Okay, I'll still be around for a few minutes more. So let's continue. Let's continue, I guess, our crusade towards old code, towards fixing old code. Otherwise, I could stop here. I mean, we didn't fix. Sorry, we didn't make all the commands nice. Some of them are maybe not super nice because they have still any type in them. Root serializer could be called root. It could be called W. This could be a star writer. This could actually stay on the same line at this point. And then there's no test. Incor by. Yeah, but you know what? I think I'm gonna stop here and commit this and do some other stuff that I need to do. Man, I need to do so much stuff. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. Don't worry. Not leaving yet. I'm gonna leave in a few minutes, but do we say this in the zone file? We do. Yeah. Okay. Here's the README. Any change necessary? Okay. And then we have this code sample that needs to be updated. This is the old stuff. So this is correct. This should still be correct. Let's copy this for an example. Then this is still correct. This is still correct. This is still correct. This should be still correct. I think everything else is pretty much still correct. Okay. Okay. No, I did something stupid. Okay. Well, do they need to update to that? Because they can still do any type and it will be fine. Well, yeah, this part is not interesting. What other changes did we make actually? We should consider for now relevant. The client is not generic anymore. Hmm. What do we call numbers that are written down as ASCII strings? We need to buffer at least error codes and uh, I'll just say as we need to be able to buffer small sections of the REST protocol for efficiency. Yeah, there are digits. Yeah, I wish there was like a more general way of saying, "Oh, this is ASCII encoded." Maybe that's it. Maybe that would be fine. I don't know. You know what? Let's not put an explanation here. Just this. Then yeah, ASCII integers. Maybe this is it. Text encoded integers. Eh. Um, to be honest, we made a bunch of changes, but we didn't really change the semantics much. We just updated to the new stuff, and this is the biggest change. Numbers as strings, okay. Hey, Antlang, thank you for the Prime sub. What type of machine are you using to write code? This is a Mac machine. I'm on a Mac. I also have Linux in here, but right now I'm developing on a Mac. big push. Let's see what people were saying in here. Oh, we forgot to update the CI. Gotta update the CI. Switch to V2, remove this. Completion error. Online alloc expects argument enum instead of comtime int. Yeah. Also in CI, we don't do Zigg build tests. We should do that. What do we do in CI? Wait, what did the comment say? Build and test, and it wasn't testing. I should run tests. Okay. So I have an open issue about testing on a real Redis. So I think that in this case, integration testing is useful, but not terribly so. We do have a pretty decent amount of unit testing, and the library pretty much only concerns itself with the Redis protocol and not so much with the semantics of these commands. So as long as those get serialized correctly and we parse replies correctly, then integration doesn't give us much. That said, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt having some somewhere isn't integration test. If anybody wants to contribute them with the caveat that they do truly need to be well reasoned. That is id est testing something that unit testing would not be able to check. Since code since code is has a wait easy endpoint I just spent a bunch of time to port all the unit tests to Zigg 0.15.0 dev. Okay. Is there a Zigg flag that makes unused variables a warning? No. This is very annoying while prototyping and ruins the experience for me. Yep, sorry. No, there's no flag for that. No unused variables. But you can use ZLS. If you have ZLS in your editor and you have it configured correctly, ZLS will be able to automatically discard your unused variables and remove discards when you start using it. So no, the language does not support that. The compiler does not support that, but ZLS can do it for you. Yeah. Oof, what an adventure. What an adventure. You know what? Now that I can do this, I'm gonna do this. Let's see if I can show somebody this stuff. No, it's in the parsers. Parser for maybe list is probably one example where we do this. Yeah. Wait, so I click on one thing and it moves my. Now I lost it. Now I was in list. What the fuck happened, man? Oh no, I did go to map. Okay, maybe. So this. Okay, so this selects the whole chunk, the whole file. Clicking this selects the whole file. Okay. Okay, this was good. So yeah, there's also something up music day. Oh god damn it. Okay, I think this is finally it. I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you all for hanging out. If you're around to later today, so that would be how many hours from now? Thanks for the reply. However, I don't want to need external tooling in order to suppress the error for me. It also adds and removes a lot of lines and everything moves around. It's very intrusive. Yes, but there are reasons why Zigg doesn't allow you to do to have unused variables. I've written a Reddit comment about it in the past, but this is now probably lost in the flow of time. But the long story short is that if we give people a flag like that, then people will start using it. Will start committing code that only builds with that flag on. And then if you're just a normal user and you just want to get your stuff working and you have a stupid dependency that needs that flag, maybe not even a direct dependency of yours, like a dependency of your dependency, then you're just going to turn on that flag and just move forward move on with your life. So that flag has the problem that is, it's like a viral flag, and Zigg is designed to. So let me put it this way. So this is the like game theory problem of that flag. And so if Zigg wants to guarantee to readers the property that a variable is either used or discarded, the error can be part of the CI. Sure. I mean, if people were all perfect at doing their software, then this wouldn't be a problem. I mean, if people were perfect, they wouldn't even need to disable unused variables in a sense. But the point is, no, the Zigg is a language that will have this. And if you find it a deal breaker, then, no hard feelings. I mean, if you think about it, not every tool on the planet needs to be designed to your preferences. So other people have different preferences, and they're making a tool for their preferences. So if you find this a deal breaker, it's fine. Like, in my opinion, you shouldn't get, hard feelings about it. And likewise, also from my perspective, while I am fine with unused variables, I can understand why somebody wouldn't want them. But the thing is, the language is like this, and you have to accept it how it is. That said, ZLS can mitigate that for you. So these are your choices. Anyway, so what is it? 5 hours from now, Showtime episode about the new async stuff. Everybody, if you're around, consider coming and enjoying the show. What's the neurosite question/comment? What happened to read until methods? Yeah, it's stream. Be careful also one thing. Stream delimiter leaves the delimiter. It does not consume the delimiter in your reader. So I think the stream until delimiter also consumed the limiter from the reader. But stream delimiter does not. So it stops at the delimiter. It does not write the delimiter in your writer, but the delimiter will still be there. By the way, yesterday when I was porting the Redis stuff and it was deadlocking, it's because of that. Well, deadlocking is like it was hanging on the read. It's because of that. I assumed that stream delimiter would also consume the delimiter, but it does not. While instead there's take sentinel. Take sentinel is similar to stream delimiter, but it only operates within the limits of the buffer. So you can only call take sentinel on things that you know for sure will fit in your buffer. And it's nice because it's like it's an optimization. You get basically a slice into the buffer. But that one will consume the sentinel. So just be aware of that. Oh, there's Togglebeat. You know what? I'm gonna read Togglebeat. Everybody, go say hi to Togglebeat for me. And see you next time.